Camera on. Elliot Reed doing his interpretation of Goethe's Faust.
Demons everywhere. Do you ever just go to the store and it's feeling a little more humid than normal, and then you realize where the milk used to be was actually just a portal to hell? Me too, all the time. Anyway, I was going to buy some Eggo waffles, the thick and fluffy kind, because the normal smaller ones that I buy all the time they didn't have, except I realized that the thick and fluffy waffles were better because you could actually put more syrup on them, and I really like that because I love to have a really big, hearty, kind of filling breakfast. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy like that. Anyway, I went to the store to look for these thick and fluffy waffles. Lo and behold, fucking demons everywhere. They're in the eggs, they're in the orange juice, they're in the yogurt, they're eating the waffles, and I'm just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Get out of the fucking freezer. And as I get closer and closer to the refrigerator, the freezer section, and then I looked at one of these demons and I asked, like, hey, like, what are you doing here? Like, I thought you just feasted on the souls of the damned. I don't know what you'd be doing with all these Eggo waffles. And he said, oh, I don't do that anymore. I like the waffles because I, just like you, also value an extremely hearty and filling breakfast to start my day. And at that moment, it kind of hit me that I had actually just been so selfish to think that I might be the only person who would have something important enough to do in their lives that they would, you know, maybe need to eat something filling and hearty and kind of just satisfying to get through your whole day. And, you know, I got my waffles, you know, just had a really cordial goodbye to this demon that was in the freezer section. It was like, oh, reaping the souls of the damned is probably a lot of really hard work. And if I were to be doing that same thing, I would want to feel fulfilled and, you know, just satisfied, I guess. Blood's satisfying, but it doesn't fill in the same way that a nice weedy waffle can. So anyway, I get back home, finish making my breakfast, and I get a notification on my phone. It was an email. And I get a lot of emails. I'm a pretty busy person, but I was like, oh, this is odd. I wonder who's contacting me this early. And I look at my phone, and it was the same demon from the grocery store. I guess he had seen me before at one of my shows and backtracked through the website of the museum that I was at, looked me up online, you know, found my email and just reached out to me. It was like, hey, you seem really interesting. I know we were just kind of joking around in the waffle aisle, but I'd love to get together and talk some more. And I was flattered, confused at first, because, you know, I'm just a normal, squishy human male. He's a reptilian skin demon, but I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything else, so why not? So I emailed him back. I was just like, hey, thanks for reaching out, and I'm kind of surprised, but happy that you found my contact information. What are you doing next week? So fast forward to next week. Turns out loves to bowl, this one. I hadn't been bowling in such a long time. I hate the way the shoes look on my feet, but I said, what the hell, you know. You meet a demon in the freezer section at the grocery store, at least give it a try. So I get to the bowling alley, and it went really well. We had a couple drinks and got our own lane and everything. It was so funny, you know, they have those digital screens at the bowling alley. I usually just write my name in, but he typed his name in as Demon Lover 69, which I thought was pretty funny because he's totally the demon. And he did this really adorable thing. Every time the ball would come up through the ball return, he just used his little wings, fly right to the end of the alley and just knock all the pins down. Perfect game. So the owner of the bowling alley came back, you know, after he saw the score and was like, hey, you know, we're starting a new bowling team here. You know, I was looking at your scores and, you know, we'd love to have you on the team. And that's the story of how Beelzebub became the best bowler in South California. Faust. I don't know.